beautiful garden of
My soul is crushed with grief to the point of death. Stay here with me and keep watch.
He went on a little further and bowed his face to the ground and prayed.
My Father, if it is possible, let this cup of suffering be taken from me. Not mine.
The disciple was still asleep. Then Jesus returned to the disciples. And he said to Peter,
Could you not wait with me even 1 hour? For the spirit is willing, the body is weak.
Then Judas, one of the 12 disciples, arrived with a crowd of people, armed with swords and clubs. They had been sent by the leading priests, the teachers of religious law, and the elders. The traitor, Judas, had been given 30
You will know which one to arrest when I greet him with a kiss. Now, follow me.
As soon as they arrived, Jesus sent for Judas.
Rabbi,
Then the mob grabbed Jesus and arrested him. Crucify him! We are now at the high priest's house, where they had taken Jesus. At daybreak, the elders of the people assembled, including the chief priests and the teachers of religious law. Jesus was led before this high council. And high priest Caiaphas asked Jesus, "Tell us, are you the Messiah?"
If I told you, you would not believe me. And if I asked you a question, you would not answer. But from now on, the Son of Man will be seated in the place of power at God's right hand.
So are you claiming to be the Son of God?
You say that I am.
Why do we need any other witnesses? Meanwhile, Peter was sitting outside in the courtyard. You were one of those with Jesus in Galilee. But Peter denied it in front of everybody.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Later, out by the gate, the servants were standing around.
is claiming to be a king.
He will anger them, and they will kill us all.
He must be dealt with. It is better that one man die for the people than the whole nation perish.
You must have a shed this man's blood.
No, he must go before Pilate. So they found Jesus, took him away, and took him to Pilate, the Roman governor. And here we are, made it safely to Pilate's palace. Now Pilate was the Roman governor, charged with controlling a very unruly province. When Jesus was before him, tell me, are you the king of the Jews?
You have said it.
He's a blasphemer. He's probably a murderer.
He's an extremist revolutionary.
He tried to seize power.
Can you really claim to be holding this province for your emperor if you let him get away with all this? When the priests accused Jesus of so many crimes, Pilate asked him, "Aren't you going to answer them? What about all those charges they are bringing against you?"
The only reason I was born is to testify to the truth.
And what is truth? In his dungeon, Pilate had a criminal, a murderer, called Barabbas. But it was the tradition for the governor to release one criminal at the festival. So to pacify the crowd, Pilate released Barabbas' criminal, then turned Jesus over to the Roman soldiers to be crucified. The soldiers rolled the crown of thorns and put it on his head. They put a purple robe on him.
Hail, King of the Jews!
When they saw him, the leading priests began shouting, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" "Take him yourself and crucify him! I find him not guilty! Away with him! Away with him! Crucify him! What? Would you crucify our king? We have no king but
children. For the days where, unfortunately for the women who have not had children, the wombs that have not borne a child, the breasts that have not nursed, the people will beg for the mountains, fall upon me. They will plead with the hills, bury me. For if these things can happen when the tree is green, what will happen when it is dry?
And here we are at Golgotha. Two others, both criminals, were led out to be executed with Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
When they came to the desolate hilltop place called the Skull, they nailed Jesus to the cross. And the criminals were also crucified, one on his right and one on his left.
Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing.
So you're the Messiah, are you? Prove it, save yourself, and us as well, Ascent.
Don't you even fear God when you're about to die? We deserve our punishment. We deserve to die for our crimes. But this man is innocent. He hasn't committed any crimes. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom.
I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise.
Standing near the cross were Jesus' mother and his mother's sister, Mary the wife of Clopas and Mary of Magdalene, the daughters of Jerusalem. Jesus saw his mother standing there beside the disciple he loved.
Dear woman, here is your son. John, here is your mother.
And from then on, this disciple took her into his home. By this time, it was about noon, and darkness fell across the whole land until 3 o'clock. The light from the sun was gone, and suddenly, the curtain in the sanctuary of the temple that separated the holiest place from the world was torn down the middle.
Father, I submit my spirit into your hands.
And with that, he breathed his last.
Surely this was a righteous man.
All Jesus' friends, including the women who had followed him from Galilee, stood at a distance, watching these things and grieving for his death, confirming that he was actually dead. As evening approached, Joseph, a rich man from Arimathea, who had become a follower of Jesus, went to Pilate. He asked,
"Release the body to this man. Have it taken down."
So Joseph took the body and wrapped it in a long sheet of linen cloth. And Joseph door was shut. You might wonder why we still mark this occasion all these years later. But the Easter story doesn't end here, and it's what happens next that is all important. 2 days later, Jesus' followers discovered that Jesus had not stayed in this tomb. They met him alive and in the flesh. Jesus overcame death, and by following him, he invites us to do the same. Jesus said, "I am the resurrection and the life. Those who believe in me will have life, even if they die.